Hi, and welcome to Yourself.Podcast. I'm Dre. I will be joined today with Talya, and she will be speaking with her life challenge of depression. So she should be joining us any second now, as I've sent her the link. And we hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and we hope that it inspires and helps those who suffer from the same life challenge. We've had a little couple technical difficulties, so we're asking her back again, and we totally accept her ability to help us again. Can you hear me okay, Talia?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. I totally
Okay.
apologize for the technical difficulties we've
Oh, you're
had.
fine. No worries.
So we will go through the questions again, and hopefully now we're just feeling a little bit more comfortable with each other.
Yeah,
so,
that's totally fine. No worries.
okay. So, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, so I am 25 years old. I'm like trying to think what to say. Yeah, I'm 25 years old. I am from Utah and I am married. I got married pretty young, which is like totally stereotypical Utah thing, but I just love like all things artsy and creative and stuff like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm going to just deep dive into it. You mentioned that you do suffer from depression. What's your current struggle with depression right now?
I think that like a big struggle for me right now is learning how to manage my depression. I think this is common for a lot of people. And just for me specifically, I'm just learning how to take better care of myself, I guess. I often forget to like take my medication, which is like I don't even know why. It's sometimes it's so hard. Like why do I forget? I don't even know, but I think that that forgetting it causes me to like have rougher days. And in those rougher days I'm like I find that I really have to kind of dig myself out, and use my coping skills to work through that. And it's very interesting that it is I hear this for a lot of people. It's like really hard to take your medication for some reason. I'm not fully sure why. Like mentally it's like really hard to get yourself to do it sometimes. And I feel like it's in those moments where you're like, I really need it and I need it to like keep going, but sometimes we're just lazy. And so yeah, I just think that that is like a big struggle for me. I am getting better luckily, but yeah, that's a struggle. And just like learning how to get through those hard times when I am having an episode. That's kind of the biggest challenges that I face with depression.
What kind of coping skills do you use when you either forget or even when you're on your medication? What kind of coping skills do you use? Do you use your art to kind of go through that, or what is it that
Yeah,
you use?
so yeah, art and like just being creative in general is like a huge part of my like personality and who I like identify as. I love like all things creative, like, you know, art. I love to sew, I love to do all the crafts, like everything like that. I'm a nail tech, so it's super fun. Like every day I just like get to paint little fun things on nails. And for me that is like a big coping mechanism is just spending time being creative. It just kind of helps like distract my mind from the hard times that I'm going through. And also to another like coping mechanism for me is music. And I feel like this is common for a lot of people, but I just find that sometimes if I'm just really struggling, like some light, like peaceful music can really help shift my mood and help me feel just a little bit better. Yeah, during those dark times, but then also too something big that like I know helps me, but I'm really bad at it is exercise, of course.
Hmm.
Everyone that has some sort of mental health struggle, we all hear that exercise is so important and it really like helps so much. But right now I'm so lazy and I like have no desire to exercise. So right now the exercise part is, that's pushed to the side. One day it'll come back, but right now I'm just so lazy and I'm like, I don't want to do it. It's not fun for me. I just like need to go on a journey and find what part is fun for me. Um, and then implement that into my routine to just better help me, through everyday life when I'm feeling great and even when I'm not feeling good. But yeah, right now I don't want to do that. So one day I'll get there, just not right now.
Yeah, that's what I've heard is that even for myself who suffer from anxiety, I have heard so many times from people who don't that just tell me, just go for a walk. And I feel like the word just
Yeah.
is
Oh
is
yes.
one of the worst words in the American vocabulary because there's nothing that just happens. Maybe an
Right.
accident, but there's always something leading up to an accident. And so I think that yeah, just going for a walk or just do 10 minutes of yoga or whatever it is, and you'll feel much better. Just my grandmother and my mom used to tell me, when you feel down, just start cleaning. And so I learned that that was a coping skill, and that actually became a what they call POCD, personality obsession compulsive disorder. And so when I would start to clean the house, I became used to just cleaning the house every single day and every week, and my father used to say, "You're going to clean the paint right off the walls," And so then I realized, oh, and then I was diagnosed. But you mentioned having trouble finding your purpose in life. Is that linked to your depression, or do you find that that's just something that you that you've always struggled with?
Great question. I think that right now, I wouldn't say that finding my purpose is necessarily related to like my depression. I just think right now I'm growing up, right? Like I'm 25, I've just graduated college, and I'm like on a new career path. Like I always thought I was going to be in the design world, in product design, and that's what I went to school for. That's literally what I've spent my whole life working towards, was like essentially doing fashion design. And anyways, once I started doing that, I realized, oh my gosh, I hate this. This is not what I want to do. And like I feel like for real, all growing up, like I just felt like being like a fashion designer was like a big part of who I was, and like people knew that about me, that that's what I wanted to do. And so I just, yeah, was always like spending so much time investing myself into building skills to do that. But yeah, like I said, I learned that I actually don't like that. And I don't like that for a career path, I guess. And so now it is like, I feel like I'm in an awkward spot where I've spent so much time and energy into becoming a fashion designer or whatever. And now I'm just like, ooh, that's not me. That's not who I am. And so now that I'm like doing nails, I feel like it's just hard to know, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm just in such an awkward spot because it's like I'm married, but I'm not ready to have a family. So I'm like trying to build a career, but like I just like feel like I'm in like an awkward spot. And luckily I do have like great people around me that help support me and as I'm going through my journey. But I am interested to see, like, within the next, like, couple of years, as I find myself more and discover who I am and what's important to me, like, I'm just interested to see what that's going to be and how that, like, shifts my life. And I hope that that can become, like, a part of, like, what I identify with instead of, like, this fashion girly, like I always wanted to be. Um, I'm just, yeah, I'm like figuring it out, and I don't expect to know like what my purpose is within the next like year or so. I think that's a lifelong journey that I just have to be okay with and
Yeah.
learn to accept that.
Do you ever feel like depression defines you?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Like I because I mean most people don't really know that I have depression.
So
Like my closest friends know,
you mask very
and
well.
yes, yes, for sure. Because like I do have like a fun, outgoing personality, and like I'm easy to talk to and stuff like that. And I feel like just because of that, people think that I'm just like this happy go lucky girl, like all the time, where like that's not the case, you know? Like I do have moments where I am super happy and I feel great, but then like a lot of times, like I don't feel great. I feel like crap and I feel so depressed and I don't know what to do.
That's really interesting because like even like I suffered from anxiety from a very young age, from the age of like 7, but I didn't know I had it until 2018, which
Yeah.
was I was way past 7 years old. But but it explained a lot to me. So,
Yeah.
did you find that once you were diagnosed, that it explained a lot of things for you prior to being diagnosed?
Yeah. I think it just like helped me to understand like why I acted certain way, like why I acted certain ways, I guess. Yeah, in specific times of my life because there have been many times where I was feeling super depressed, but I had no idea that that's what it was. Just because like I didn't have those skills yet and I just yeah, like I didn't know. And I was just thinking, like, yeah, there were a couple different times in my life where I was severely depressed. And one time specifically, like, I had some friends come from Germany and it was like super exciting and fun for them to stay at my house. But the whole time I was like super grumpy and just like mean. And my mom was like, why are you being so rude? Like, this is a fun time. And I had no idea that I was like being mean or grumpy. Um, and I think for me, that was like a depressive episode that I was going through, but I just didn't realize it. And then another time was when I kind of took like a gap year in between college, like my freshman year. I, for a year and a half, took like, yeah, this little break and I was living outside the country. And yeah, same thing. Like, I was just really grumpy and just very irritable. And I had no idea that that's because I was feeling depressed. So, anyways, then COVID happened, and so I moved back home, and it was like then that I realized that those feelings and just those times where I was like really grumpy and just not myself, um, that was when I was going through like a depressive episode or whatever, or just experiencing it. And yeah, it was after that, yeah, around 2019 when I was like finally diagnosed and then I got on some medication and things started to get a lot better from there.
So, what is it? What are the, if you could be specific, what are the symptoms that you feel? Like, say, if you don't take your medication or you forgot to take your medication,
Yeah.
um, you know, maybe a day or two goes by. What's the first feeling that you start to feel? Is it that irritability or is it the anger or just what's the first what are the first symptoms that you start to recognize that says, "Oh, I'm starting to spiral."
Yeah. Definitely the irritability and just like being grumpy is one. But also too, I'll just like feel kind of like nothing. Like, I think it's hard to explain um, to someone who doesn't have depression, but it's like you just like feel like meh. Like, that's the only way I can describe it is there's just like nothing there. When you're like surrounded by amazing things and amazing people, but you just don't feel anything. For me, I feel like that's when I feel it to start to come on. And then also too, it's really interesting. Like when I'm in the like when I'm starting to feel it come on, I just like want to like scream cry.
Mm.
And it's just so weird because I'll just be like living my day to day life, and all of a sudden, like, I just have a moment where I'm like, I just like feel like I want to scream, cry, and like kick and punch the wall, and like I just have like emotions that need to come out. And so it's when I feel those things that I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely starting to spiral a little bit, and it's those times where I have to like hold on to the coping skills that I've learned to like help me get through. And luckily, I have a great support system, like my family, and my husband is so great. He supports me and helps me through those moments, and he can kind of start to tell too, like if I'm like a little grumpy or just like irritable. He'll be like, have you taken your medication recently? Like, what's going on? And yeah, that just like is very great, and he's there to like help me out, which is amazing.
That's good and that's surprisingly very rare.
Yeah, for sure.
I know a lot of I've met a lot of people through this podcast. I've met so many other people in interviewing them that do not have any support system. And I can't imagine. I mean, I went through my whole life without one until I was married. And my husband does the same thing. Once he notices something is wrong, I can't stop moving. We can't sit and watch a movie for 10 minutes before I'm jumping around doing things. He's like, "Is there something wrong? Did you take your meds today?" And I'll be
Yeah.
like, Well, I take them at night. So it's like, no, because I was in a comfy spot in my bed and I didn't want to get up and
Exactly.
take
It's the
them,
worst.
Yes.
It's the
So,
worst.
yeah, I'm glad to hear that you do have a great support system. And I wanted to ask you if if um, if by chance a miracle happened that you just woke up one day, forgot to take your meds, forgot to take your meds over and over for like a week, and your depression was miraculously gone, who do you think you would be? If depression does not define you, who do you think Talia would be?
Love this question. That's so good. Um, Honestly, I think that I would really want to be someone that is like a good friend or someone that others can turn to for help. Um, I feel like a little bit maybe like what my purpose is and like figuring that out as I'm growing up. I really do feel like a strong need to help people to feel better about themselves, but also to just help them realize like you're awesome and here's like the cool things about you and like really you're so great. Um, and like that's been nice to do like through nails, I guess. Like I can just like pamper people and just talk to people and help them realize like they're cool, if you know what I mean. And I think that like that's what I would want to do and that's who I would want to be. So I'm slowly like developing that. But yeah, if one day that if I woke up and didn't have depression, I would still want to like reach out and help people and even too like with depression and stuff. Like I mean, I don't know a ton and like I don't have like all the resources and everything, but I would like love to help people just get through some hard times and help them realize that there is good coming, there's better times coming, and just help them to just like have a friend while they're going through those difficult times because that is so important and it's so nice to have someone that can support you while you're going through all of your hard times.
And are you in cognitive behavioral therapy right now? Currently,
Mm-mm.
you're not.
I've done a little bit of therapy in the past, but honestly, not that much. I think that therapy was more for me to cope with some things, like some traumatic things. I guess not even traumatic things, just difficult things that I went through. But that ultimately helped me build like some tools to just have in my back pocket when I am feeling like a depressive episode coming on.
Now, speaking of pockets, um, I heard this quote. I think it was while I was thinking about the questions that I wanted to ask you, and I came across this article that said from Jane Clayson Johnson that says depression thrives in secrecy but shrinks in empathy. And I had to think about that, and I thought, a lot of people take depression and say, oh, they're just sad because they had a bad day or this and that. And they don't understand the true depth of the loneliness that you might feel. I can't get out of bed, I can't speak, I can't, any type of those sort of things. What my challenge is for you is to think about that quote, depression thrives in secrecy but shrinks in empathy. I want you to take a challenge this week and think about that quote and try to take a little piece of paper and write down something that you're grateful for in that same moment that you're writing it down. And if you can't think of something, just think of anything, whether it's I'm grateful for my pillow. I'm grateful for my pet. I'm grateful for my talent that I have as a nail tech, as an artist, as a fashion designer, of everything that I learned. Um, think about a cloudy day, how that makes you feel, or a sunny day, and roll it up and put it in your pocket. And when you do start to feel a little down, I challenge you to take it out of your pocket or out of wherever you keep it close to you, and read it to yourself, and believe that that is something that is instilled in you because you are grateful for it. You made that what's the word? You made that sentence something that belongs to you, that you only are grateful for. And I hope you take on that challenge. And I hope that if you ever need a second session or just need to vent out, or if you're going through a downward spiral, you can reach out to Brace Yourself.podcast. We can speak to you in private. We can speak to you as another podcast guest. We can give you another session. And please, please know that if you ever are in dire need and are all alone and you find yourself that you cannot pick up the phone to speak to anybody, to please dial or text 988 as the Crisis Lifeline Center. They are an instant connection for you to connect with somebody who is trained to deal with that sort of mental health issue. And I so greatly appreciate your time today, all of your efforts, and all through our technical hiccups that we've had today. But I wish you completely a well and happy day and the best holidays that you can have coming up. And I hope that your depression can be under, what do I want to say, just kind of under the level, and keep taking your meds because they do help. And you will always have a friend in me. And I know that you've helped me in the past because we've known each other for a while, but I would like to return the favor and help you whenever it's necessary, day or night,
Thank you. You're
whatever.
the best.
And I really appreciate you, Talia. Thank you
Yeah,
so
of
much for
course. Thank
joining
you for
us.
this. Yeah, thanks for this opportunity. It was great to chat. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you.
Yeah,
We'll
have a
see
good
you.
one.
You
See
too.
ya.
Bye bye. We'd like again to thank Talia for her time and efforts. She is a wonderful person. I forgot to give her a shout out. She is a wonderful nail tech. I was actually in Utah not too long ago where, because of my anxiety, I have also suffered with self harm. And I don't want to describe it to you because of the sensitivity of it. However, she was able to uh, do my nails, and she was such a great nail tech. I just had to show her off all over the internet, and I hope that she knows that she has a support system with me as well. I'm on all socials. We are on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube as Brace Yourself.Podcast. There's so many ways to get a hold of us. Please do not suffer in despair or alone. Please do not feel that you cannot reach out to anyone. And if you're in deep, deep crisis, like I suggested to her, please dial or text or call the 988 Crisis Lifeline Center. And they have immediate professionals there to help and to speak with you for as long as it takes. And please know that help is available, healing is available. And as I extended the challenge to Talia, I extend it to you as well, to all of our listeners, to please write something that you're grateful for today. Put it in your pocket, put it somewhere where you can reach. And if you start to feel down or sad, or you're just feeling like you're spiraling, or you just don't know how to center, pull that piece of paper out, read it, because it will magnify to your heart, it will magnify to your soul, and then it will tackle your brain. Believe it or not, we are all connected. All our organs are connected, and we can all heal through certain things that we feed ourselves mentally. I'm not saying we're the cure or that simple gesture is the cure to all things. I'm just saying, in one moment, you may feel happiness and not so low. And if you need to reach out for us for separate segments, you're welcome to. And we appreciate your time, your efforts, all of your support. And until then, this is Dre, and that's a wrap.